Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of How to Punish. Today we'll be featuring Sindel, who's the newest DLC character. She was released yesterday, which is November the 26th, and she's the fourth DLC character, I believe, to be released. Yeah, fourth DLC character. Played her a little bit so far. She's got three very distinct variations. Her buttons are quite good, seemingly from mid-range. All of them seem to be quite good at hit confirming. She seems like she's going to struggle up close. But that's why we do the guide, so I can show you what she struggles with and how to punish it. So, let's do what we always do and start off with the moves. Just the normal moves. She doesn't have a lot, so there's not a lot to go through. Her main distinctions come in the variations. So, actually let's just put them on block mode. Or, there. Alright, so, we have standing 1, which is 7 frames. -3 on block. Down 1, which is 8 frames, so slightly slower than usual. Well, I say slower than usual. Slightly slower than 7 and 6 anyway. Duh. So you've got your down 1 here, which is also -3. Standing 2, which is a high, which is 11. Back 2. So this is an interesting button because this is actually a meterless launcher and it has quite a lot of pushback. So you can see, even though it's -17, unless you've got a long range move, so maybe Devora's forward 2, Scarlet's forward 2, you know, faster range buttons like that. If you've got a reversal like Rhino Charge or Thin Ice, you should keep calling it Thin Ice. Sub-Zero Slide, you should be able to punish it with that. But -17, as you can see, the pushback is quite far, so you just have to be very careful when you're when you block it, because it's not safe. So make sure you get a punish in there. Forward 2 is her overhead, 25 frames, -20. So not only is this the slowest overhead in the game, but you have to be very careful of it. Look, the range is immense. So it's the slowest overhead in the game, but if she just does the overhead, it's super punishable. -20, so make sure you punish that. But just keep an eye out on it, because she's got a low start with back 2, and an overhead start with forward 2, so just be very careful. Her down 2 is also, I think, the slowest down 2 in the game, but you have to, again, be very careful when you get jumped in on, because, when you're jumping in on her rather, because you can see that, look at the range of the down 2. I mean, the hitbox it's almost 3 characters away, so you just have to be very careful when you're jumping in. And also, her standing 1 is a really good anti-air as well, so she's got 2 very, very good anti-airs. She's got an uppercut as well, which I'll show you about too. So just be very, very careful. Take that as a note when you're jumping in on her. Just be very, very careful when you are, because she's got lots of options to deal with it. So yeah, 13 frame down 2. Standing 3 is probably her most useless button. It's, -4 though, so it's safe, but it is a high. Doesn't lead to anything, it's just a little hop. Back 3, 19 frames, -7, it is safe. Be careful as well, again, look at the range. Down 3 as well. So you're going to see that that's going to be indicative of a lot of Sindel stuff, is that the range is really, really, really high on all of her moves. So look, her down 3, again, is almost 2 character links away. And she gets, and it's +14 on hit, which means that it potentially can jail into a lot of her other moves. So I'll talk about that in a minute when I get to forward 4, but just look at the range of it, it's mad. And it doesn't really have any pushback on her either, so if you're in the corner about this range, it's very similar again to Scarlet and Frost with their back 2s. I mean, she can't get a combo off it, but she can definitely keep you in place. Standing 4. So standing 4 you have to be careful of, because it's actually a high overhead. So what that means is you have to block both of those hits high. So, well, sorry, you duck the first hit, but then you have to duck the second hit high. So you have to be very careful with it, because you're going to block the first hit and think, oh, I ducked it. But then you're going to have to stand block the second hit. -3 as well, it is safe. So, duck the first bit, block the second bit high. That's how you have to do it. Or if you're blocking low, whatever you do, you have to block the second hit high. So be very, very careful. And then her last couple of moves. She's got a sweep, 14 frames, -3. Forward 4. So this is the button that's going to drive you mad. Forward 4, -7. It is safe. It's got quite a good range, and it's very hit confirmable. So as you can see, let's take her off block. As I said, down 3, as you can see, hit advantage is 14 frames, right? So now, her forward 4 is 14 frames. So you have to be very careful when you get hit with a down 3 not to mash, because she can potentially jail you which means that if you press a button, if you do anything other than block, essentially, you're going to get hit by the forward 4 into a full combo, you know, big damage, etc., etc. So, yeah, just be very careful with forward 4, because the range of it is, as we've said before, forward 2, forward 4, down 3, all of these buttons, very long range. So, yeah, and it's safe, so be careful. Then lastly, we've got her down 4. Quite a good range for a down 4. Oh, wait. -5, so it is safe. So, the main takeaway from her normal moves, as I've said, and I would keep reiterating it, but it's, you know, you can't say it too many times, because this seems her entire game plan is going to be just revolve around her trying to, I guess, stagger you and then use her long range buttons to open up. So, to open you up. So just be very careful. Remember though, forward 2 is very unsafe and back 2 is also very unsafe. So if they just try and get you with those two things, then make sure you punish her. Next up, we've got the combo attacks. Again, as you can see, not a lot of combo attacks, but they all have their own purposes. Let's say if we put her on flawless block as well, you'll be able to see where you can and can't flawless block. So, actually, I'll do what they are normally first, and then I'll go through the strings with gaps, just so you can see. So we've got 1-1, -5, 1-1-2, -3, but there is a massive gap. I can tell you that for sure right now. There's a massive gap between the 1-1 and the last two, so you can definitely flawless block that. I might as well just show you it as I go along. See, flawless block gap, and it makes it -8 as well. So that'd be quite tough to punish with -8 because of the pushback, but it just means if she tries to press a button afterwards, you're at more advantage. So big gap there. Then you've got 2-3, -8. Again, it's barely punishable, but if you've got a 6 frame down one, I guess you can try and poke her out if you're ready. Then you've got 2-3-4, -4, that's safe. There's no gap there. Forward 2-1 is the overhead, as we said. So the overhead into just this mid swipe, that's -15. So if she tries to stagger you with forward 2-1 into nothing, so she's got two options afterwards. If she tries to just stagger you into that, make sure you punish. Stick out a button, you know, you can do practically anything with a 15 frame gap, and she's right next to you as well. So just be very, very careful. But as I said, she does have two options. So you've got forward 2-1 up 2, which is safe at -8 because of the pushback, but there's also a gap here that you can flawless block. So it makes it -13. So that means that if you flawless block it, you can punish it with a button. However, this is where you have to be careful, because you've got forward 2-1 down 2, which doesn't have a gap, which is punishable if you block it. So this is where the mind games, you'll see that with Sindel's strings, there are a couple of them that have this sort of, I don't want to say gimmick, this sort of block circumstance where you can potentially get a flawless block, but then she can bait you with something else. That's an uppercut. She can bait you with something else that doesn't have a gap, and then you get hit. So it's very much like Shang Tsung's forward 2-4-2, you know, the overhead low. Either he does the 4, which is -5, I believe, and doesn't have a gap, or he does forward 2-4-2, which is plus but does have a gap. So Sindel's strings, you'll see, there's a couple of them that work in a similar way. So remember, the up slice is -8 on normal block, -13 on flawless block, but there is a flawless block gap. Then forward 2-1 down 2, block advantage is -15, but there's no gap. So you can punish that normally. Back 3-4, -9. Back 3-4 down 4, -12. And this is a very similar sort of string, so you'll see what I mean now. So you've got back 3-4, as I said, no gap. And then you've got back 3-4, 2. So 2's the butt bump, the infamous butt bump. So there's no gap there, but if you notice, the 2 is a high. So if we just put her on duck stance, you see the 2 completely whiffs. But again, this is the mix-up. So she's got the 2, you can duck it. The recovery's 34 frames, so if she whiffs that, she's you know, she's whiffs that and she's dead basically. You can do whatever you want to punish that. But, as we've seen already, she's got the ender, which is 4, which is an overhead. So, again, built-in mix-ups in the string. So you just have to be very careful when you're blocking against Sindel, because back 3-4-4, as we've seen, is an overhead. So if you go to duck the high, and you think, oh, I've got a read, she's going to do the plus frames, that's when you get hit with the... that's when you get hit with the overhead. So... and there's no gap there either to flawless block. So, but it is death on block, -12, super punishable. So make sure you punish that. And lastly, and not leastly, this string is going to cause people nightmares. So remember I said forward 4 is a really strong button, right? Hit confirmable mid, -7 on block. Well, she has an up 3 ender for it, so it's a 2-hitting string, and it looks like it's -13, so you think, oh, if I've got sub-zero slide, which is 11 frames, I'll be able to punish that, right? So there's no gap here, firstly. Secondly, if you look at how long it takes for Jade to actually recover from the block stun, sorry, Jade, Devora to recover from the block stun, she is, like, to actually put her hands down back to a neutral stance, there's absolutely no way that you'll be able to punish that. Somebody told me in my chat before, I think it was Cecil told me in my chat before, that Foxy Rampart tried to test it with, actually tested it with Thin Ice Sub-Zero, and he couldn't punish it because of the pushback. So be very careful when you get hit, if you block this string. Like I said, even though it says -13, you're not going to punish it with a fast reversal. So don't overcommit to anything that could potentially get you killed. Yeah, so those are her strings. As I said, she doesn't have many. And then lastly, oops, balls, I just put it on default. No. Oh no, I went back. Alright, it's alright, I saved it. I saved it. Lastly, she has, we'll go through her moves. But we'll go through her normal moves first, that all the variations have. And then we will go through the specific variations. Oh, just to let you know as well, actually, and her normal moves I should have mentioned, she has crushing blows on both throws. So if she hits you with a forward throw crushing blow, it just does 310 damage. But if she hits you with her back crushing blow, it does a little bit of damage and then a dot, which is damage over time. So be very careful again. I mean, the requirements for both is escape failed. So if you tech the wrong way on one, she'll get it on the other one, and that's the requirement for both. So just be very, very careful when you're teching throws against Sindel, because either way she's going to get a crushing blow. But as I said, they both got very distinct options. So yeah, be careful. Just be very careful when you're teching against her, because all the characters that have crushing blow throws are very dangerous. Right, so special moves. So her default moves, she's got main squeeze. So actually, let me switch a floor spot for these. She's got main squeeze, which is -7. Yeah, this is her main combo ender, basically, or one of them. So it is a high. You can duck it, but it's safe on block if you do duck it. She can actually choose which way if she hits you with it as well. She can actually choose which way she throws you. So be careful if she's got her back to the corner and she hits you with it, because she can just dash you behind her as well. She's got her trademark Scream, which is -18 if you were just to do the move normally. So make sure you punch. Oh, well, it's a projectile, so it's variable, but from up close, it's going to be -20. So if she does it in your face like that, make sure you punish it. But she can actually cancel it. So you'll see a lot of Sindels doing this, like Akabal cancel, you know, any sort of cancel where you can cancel out of a string. If you see potentially, and this is where the shenanigans can come in with other strings, if you think you're going to flawless block gap, and then she cancels. So remember we saw a gap between 1-1-2, she can actually do 1-1 and then cancel it into this from the Scream, but not mess it up. Well, -34. If you do it right, that's not minus. But yeah, Scream cancels can make things safe. So just be careful if you see Sindel pumping it in your face. She can actually cancel it. And she can hold it down too. And if she holds it down, you see how she's glowing? So this is what it looks like normally. So you can't get a combo from it. But if she hits you with it when it glows, then she can actually get a combo. You see, that was 2 hits. So be careful again. If she's holding it in your face and you think, oh shit, she's holding it, she's holding it, she's holding it. And then you go to press a button. If she's glowing when she hits you, she can get a full combo punish. So just be very careful with that too. And as you saw, it does have a crushing blow as well. If it's on a counter hit or a punish. So the way that that works is, it'll work if they hold it down like this, but the main way you'll see it used is, as you can see, you can actually amplify it. And that's the main way you'll see it used. Because so usually, as a punish anyway, it's 18 frame startup. But with you amplify it, it's 9 frame startup. So, you know, be very careful if you're trying to do something that isn't normally punishable, you know, or not that punishable. Just be very careful, because she can get, for the cost of 1 bar, and that's hit confirmable into a lot of stuff, and then, you know, boom, you've eaten 400 damage. Because that crushing blow, if that's a crushing blow reversal, that's not even without a bar, she's going to do, you know, that's 1 bar obviously to do the amplifier, but that's going to lead into at least 350 damage. So, as I said, be very careful with this Scream. It's a very, very tough tool. And lastly, she's got this move called Regal Presence. Very similar to the Ermac float from the last games. You know, she can stay in the air for quite a long time. I mean, I've not pressed anything, and she can dash. She can't actually, outside of her second variation, which we'll get into, she can't actually do anything other than just float in this variation. But I imagine that there's some sort of shenanigans that people will find later in time. But just be careful, because she can do it from strings. So maybe if you go to punch, I mean, the startup is, where is the startup? Didn't say. 1 frame startup, I guess. So yeah, just be careful if you're if you think, oh, I've got a punish, and then she just takes off and lands and then punishes you if you do something unsafe. So those are her 3, and she can do it while she's in the air as well already. So she can do it from the ground, and then she can cancel it maybe if she wants, or she can just jump, do it rather, and then she can dash around the screen like that. So yeah, be very careful when with Sindel and her air options, as we'll see, especially in this variation, and the second variation. Actually, all 3 variations, her air mobility is mad. But we'll do her first. So this will be the splitting hair specific move. Splitting hairs is her first variation. No. So we've got haircut, and we got hair whip. So these are the 2 moves that are specific to the splitting hair variation. So her variation 1 is very much her combo. It's like the simplified combo variation. So it's not a lot of cancels. There's not a lot of like complicated gimmicks or shenanigans. It's basically just you hit confirm into haircut, which is her launcher, combo, blah blah blah, and then that's the gist of this variation. But if you block, so if you block haircut, but I'll show you some tricky stuff that she can do in this variation anyway. So it's more gimmicky, I think, than anything else, but I'll show you how to deal with it. So if you block haircut, which is her launcher, minus 17, that is super duper duper punishable. So if she doesn't confirm it, she just say 1-1 into haircut, and she doesn't confirm it, or back whatever into haircut, minus 17, you make sure you own her. She can't amplify it. Oh, she can amplify it on block. Oh crap. Alright, so be careful. I didn't think she could. But she can amplify it on block, which is minus 16. So I guess be careful when she does it on block, because maybe that's a gimmick. I haven't tested that, but if you were to block either minus 16 or minus 17, both of those are super punishable. And her second move in this variation is whip and flip. So it's this overhead whip move, which has 3 ranges. Close, so this is the close one, this is the medium one, and this is the far one. So you can see the far one travels a lot through the screen, and she has an air one as well, which she can actually do jumping backwards. So So be careful. The way that this move works, at the moment I've been found, which was recommended to me by London Con, who's a good, one of the top London players, you know, with London his name and everything. A lot of the time you'll see people, firstly, it's -20 on block, as you can see. So if you block it, or -18, -20, -17, it's death on block, basically, much like haircut. So if they don't confirm into this, then make sure you punish them for it. However, a lot of the ways that it's been used, I can see it being used at the moment, when the ways that I've been using it as well, is usually off a jump kick. So a lot of the meta at the moment in this game is pokes, right? You do it, I do it. They'll do a jump in, and somebody will stick out a button because they want to challenge it, right? Even though it's plus, you can see jump kicks are usually plus. Online, if there's latency and blah, 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 your plus frames start to vanish. So a good way to stop people from mashing is to do jump kick into the overhead, because that'll actually combo. Well, it won't combo, but it will bait out the button. So it's a frame trap, even though it is a gimmick. So just be very careful if Sindel start jumping in on you and doing that, because the way this move does have an overhead as well. Sorry, it is an overhead. It does have a crushing blow. So if it counters or punishes a low or ducking attack, so that's why you have to be careful. That's why I'm talking about down pokes, which is why this is a good way of blowing it up as well. So if you know somebody's going to press a down 1 or a down 3 or whatever after your jump in, you hit them with the overhead, and then you get they'll get the crushing blow afterwards, and that's where you start getting hit with big damage as well. Because this variation of Sindel does a lot of damage, so you have to be very careful if you get opened up. The crushing blow requirements aren't tough to do either, so yeah, just be very careful when you're pressing buttons after a jump kick against Sindel, because obviously it works with down 1 into it as well, down 3 into it, you know. So just be, as I said, be very careful when you want to trade down pokes, because it seems like it's designed to blow up a counter down poke. But yeah, those are the two special moves in this variation. Her next variation is called Loud and Clear, which focuses more on her screams. So you see that, as I said, she's got the trademark scream. In this variation, she actually gets another scream, and she has the ability to do special moves from her float. So we'll go through these screams first, and then we'll show you the other moves. So Maleficent March, sort of reminiscent to the Supergirl March in Injustice 2. So she has two different versions of this. She can cancel it, much like you can cancel the other scream in the first and third variations. She can hold it down as well. It is unsafe though, so it doesn't matter how long she holds it down for. You can punish it, -17, but she can amplify it. As you can see, be very careful. So if we put her on 1,000, amplifying it, it does 60% chip. Oh, 0.6% chip rather, almost a whole % of your life in chip. -14 though, is very unsafe. It works very similar to Frost amplified spin, though this isn't safe. That's -7. But both of these screams, if they don't amplify it, then because you can't special cancel into it, she'll just do it, as far as I'm aware. So yeah, make sure you punish that if she does that just raw. But then she's got this short streak, which is the other version. So this is the upgraded version, basically, of the one the other variations get, which just works as it does normally. But you see, it's just a different input in this variation because the normal input gets taken up by the Maleficent March. But this works exactly the same way as it does in the other two variations. So you've got that, you can amplify it 9 frames, and you can cancel it. So again, very punishable. You can combo into this one, but it is very punishable. And lastly in this variation, you have these air moves. Now, I'm not very good with them, so I'm just going to show you what they do and how to punish them, but you can. This is where she starts becoming a Marvel character and starts doing air combos. So this is Deadly Echo. So this doesn't have a hitbox, so you can see it doesn't hurt you like Jackie's Shrapnel Blast does, but it can. She can do it from attacks like Jackie's Shrapnel Blast. So be careful. Again, if you're trying to blow up a jump in, as you can see, she can do it and then combo into blah blah blah. So yeah, be very careful when you're trying to deal with the jump arc of this character. Because if you get hit, her jump 2 has a lot of frame advantage. So you have to be very careful if she tries to start doing stuff that leads to you getting hit by jump 2. She can also do a far version as well. She has 2 ranges. So that's the short version, and that's the far version. So she'll go straight over you. So again, you can't get crossed up in this game because of the little block button, but just be very careful. And then lastly, in this variation, she's got Banshee Dash. So, as you can see, actually, so again, projectile variation, -12. I mean, to be fair, from a projectile from that range compared to her Deadly Shriek and stuff, she can. It's not super punishable from far away. Look, that's -7. You're definitely not punishing that -3. So this just works as a normal projectile as it stands, which, as you can see, goes full screen. Or almost full screen. But the reason why this is interesting, so you have to be careful of this, is if she does it and she amplifies it. Oh wait, you can't amplify and block, really? Oh. If she does it and she amplifies it, she can teleport next to you. So you can't punish it. I didn't realize she couldn't do that on she couldn't amplify it on block actually, but just be careful then. Be aware that she does have the opportunity to teleport next to you at the cost of a bar. And that's when you start seeing the Marvel combos, because then she'll teleport next to you, hit you with down 1, start doing the, you know, the deadly echo stuff, and then cancel into the combos look mad. But yeah, the main thing you have to worry about basically is punishing it, and at least you don't have to worry about her teleporting next to you if you block the Banshee Dash, because she can only amplify it on hit. So that's good to know. So yeah, that's what she can do, and she can do that out of the dash stuff as well, the Regal Presence. So yeah, just be careful. This is the like the main tricksy air variation as well. So yeah, you'll find that with a lot of all 3 of Sindel's variations, you have to be very careful when you're pressing buttons against her in the air. And lastly, we have Royal Edenian. So the first variation was the combos, the more simple combo heavy variation. The second variation was more about, you know, air cancels, dash cancels, mixing them up, I guess, with sort of air options. The third variation, actually, is the more zoning heavy variation. So there's a lot of irritating things in this move. I just lost in a 1st to 10 with day 1 to Cecil Snow, who was playing mostly this variation. So the 3 moves that she gets in this variation are Royal Trap, which you can only do in the air because I'm bad. I'm just doing back 2. So you see, she puts these 2 orbs in the air. She can only do a maximum of 2 orbs, and the range of them isn't massive. So as you can see, she's not super far away. I'm trying to do it from a hop. Why am I so bad? So you see, it's usually from about 2 character lengths away, right? But as you can see, you've probably noticed, it says unblockable. So if she puts 2 of these down, you're going to take 100 damage in unblockable damage. Nice sentence. So, yeah, just be very, very careful, especially in the corner. If she knocks you down, she can do it off a jump kick, like with a lot of her moves. So if she knocks you down, you just have to hold it, basically, because it works in the same way as Kotl Sunray, Aaron Black Acid. You just can't block it. You just have to hold it. So the only thing you can take away from it is, at 28 frames startup, it is punishable on reaction. I was doing, so you know in the first variation she has the overhead hair whip. I was punishing it on reaction every time with hair whip. So, you know, 28 frames, if you've got a 28 frame move, if you do hit her, it won't go away, but you can interrupt the startup. So just be ready for it and just try and interrupt her from going in the air if you can. Her second move in this variation is Banshee Barrage. As you can see, you can do it from a jump in as well, which is she does these, I guess, Starfire-esque projectiles in the air. Minus 19. So this is super punishable, right? From any range, it's super punishable. So if she tries to do it on you as just like a normal zoning, sort of like a Jade Airglaive, super punishable. So make sure you punish it. But it does have an amplified version. So you have the normal version. However, you'll see, so the normal versions you saw are all mid. However, the amplified version at the end, did you see, is a low. So that's how you have to block that. And it's minus 29 if you block it. I'm sure that'll be variable from range. Minus 27, yeah. So it almost doubles how punishable it is. So just be, again, I know I always say be careful, but that's the thing with these new characters. You think, oh, they're all mids. I'm going to block high and then punish. And then you get, that actually has a pop-up as well. So if I show you, stance. See, you get a pop-up, and then she can get a combo from it. So, yeah, just be careful when she's doing this on you in the air. If she chooses to amplify it, but you can punish it. You can punish both versions. But again, she can do it off a jump kick. She can do it off anything. She can just do a neutral jump, and a standing jump, neutral jump, whatever. So, yeah. And then lastly, in this variation, she has low Star Screamer, which is this low projectile, which if you amplify it, goes full screen. Well, I mean, it goes full screen, sorry, but it travels much faster. So you've got the normal one. It's not even saying what the startup is, bloody hell. 2-frame startup. I'm sure that's not 2 frames like a 2-frame punish, but yeah, you can see it just travels much faster. It does a little bit more damage as well. So yeah, this variation is definitely the more traditional. Actually, can she do it out of this? No. So this is definitely the more traditional zoning variation. She's got the hive. She's got the fireballs in the air. She's got the fireballs on the ground. She's got the unblockable fireballs. So her thing in this variation will just to be to, you know, basically frustrate you. Hit you with this. Go into the low fireball, whatever. You know, so yeah, just be very, very careful against this variation, because it is definitely the more traditional of the two. Lastly, there was something else I wanted to say. Oh yeah, her short hop attack. Actually, I know I don't usually talk about short hop attacks, but only because look at the range of this up 2. It's massive. This is short hop 2. It's minus 10. So if she does it in your face, it is punishable. But from this far away, from this far away, which is about 2-3 character lengths away. It's minus 9, minus 10. You're not punishing it. But just be very careful, because I mean, look, the range of this short hop attack compared to most is insane. So it is unsafe if you block it up close, though. But just be wary of it as an option. So yeah, lastly, her fatal blow, just to show you what it, the range of it. I'll just show you the stuff. I won't show you what it does. Minus 26. So it's an 18-frame start, same as Aaron Black, so it's middling startup, not one of the fastest, not one of the slowest, but as you can see, the range, see what the active range of it is. So you're looking at about here, really, so just be very careful. I can imagine it's a very good jump-in as well, very good at dealing with jump-ins as well. Yeah, so, yeah, minus 26, super punishable, but be very, very wary of the range. So, yeah, I think that's everything. Let's just have a quick look. I went through all her crushing blows. I went through all her strings and stuff. Yeah, so I think that's it. So, yeah, that's the how to punish Sindel. How to punish Sindel guide. As you can see, three very distinct variations. All 3 do different things. As I said, combo. You've got the combo one, the execution one with the cancels, and then the more simplified zoning variation. The main thing would be to be wary of her range. As you can see, her overhead is it's the slowest overhead in the game, but it hits you from very far away. She's got built-in mix-ups in her strings, and she's got a low and an overhead starter for combos, but the majority of this stuff is punishable. So just make sure that you watch the guide multiple times, lol, and you can see which, where the gaps are, where you can make stuff even more safe, more unsafe for you to punish with the flawless block gaps. Make sure all of her special moves are unsafe. Make sure you punish everything that she does. Nothing, unless she cancels into Scream from a string, which is safe, nothing that she does in terms of actual, like the haircut, the whip, you know, let me show you what that is in block actually as well. Yeah, minus 15. See, this is what I mean. None of these projectiles, none of these special moves are safe. So, if you do get the read, make sure, or you do block one of these things if she's not confirming, she's just throwing them out willy-nilly. Make sure you keep trying to do the uppercut. Actually, this one is safe. That's in the first variation. But make sure you punish everything that you can punish. Don't let her get away with stuff, and try and stick as close to her as she can, because her fastest mid is 14 frames. She's not going to be like a Jackie or a Jack, so she's going to stick at a 9-frame mid and check you. She's going to be looking for you to press a button from about here, maybe whiff punish you with back 3 or whiff punish you with forward 2. So try and stick as close to her as you can, so that you can punish. Actually, let's go through her reversals as well. That's one thing we didn't do. So this is her up 2. Oh, both are punishable. So her up 3 and her up 2 are both punishable as well. So if she tries to do a reversal punish, like get up off the floor with an up 2 and up 3, both of those are unsafe as well. So she doesn't have great reversals. Make sure you stick close and make sure you punish the stuff that you can punish when she does make a mistake. So yeah, that's all for the Sindel guide. Thank you very much everybody for watching. I've got guides for every character in the game, so please can you check the rest of those out. I've got highlights from the stream. I'm recording this on my stream at the moment. We've got highlights from the stream. But, you know, usually in the form of Combat League matches, but I do first to 10s. I've got these guides. I've got all sorts of guides if you want to know how to dash cancel, etc, etc. And if there's anything you'd like to see, please leave me a message in the comments. Please come to my stream and tell me, you know, if you like the video or not. Leave me a like, please subscribe, and I'll be back with another How to Punish when they release another new character, or if I think there's anything that's, you know, worthy of doing a video on. So thank you very much everybody for watching. I'll be back with another video soon, and stay salty. Take care everyone.